spiritual people will have a harder time making money at first. Just as an example for my path, I took... originally, I wanted to become an entrepreneur since I was maybe about 9 years old, when I was watching Rob Dyrdek talk about... I was just watching, I don't know if any of you have seen it, is Fantasy Factory. It was on Extreme Sports Channel. And he would just skate around in his factory doing like backflips into foam pits, riding quad bikes all day. And he said something like on the thing is like, "Hey, I'm Rob Dyrdek and I'm an entrepreneur." And in my head, I was like, well, that's what an entrepreneur is, running around skateboarding all day, jumping into foam pits, riding quad bikes and doing all this like crazy shit. And I was like, I want to do that. So anyway, I had that in my mind. Then I went on my spiritual path, fell into depression at about, after my mum died probably, at about 12, 13. I'd say about 12 or 13 years old. And it kind of peaked at 19. And the trajectory of my spiritual path was from the Indian tradition. So I had conditioned myself through that to believe that money is wrong, to believe that I should just be like a naked man in a blanket, roaming around mountains and, begging on the street. That was basically what I thought I had to be. I did actually go to India to be that. I tried to become a monk. I was swiftly redirected, but I really did. I came to India. I had nothing but one of those German backpacks. Like, it's a weird name, but it was like a fox on the logo. I had one of those with just like some underwear, t-shirts, and that was it. And I tried to renounce to become a monk. Anyway, long story short, I'm not going to share that on here. That's its own video. But I was redirected, and at this stage I was kind of lost, hopeless, and all I wanted to do was to be able to teach meditation. And I had just been trained as a meditation teacher while I was there at the end of the trip, and I wanted to just teach meditation. It always worked for me, and it had been the thing that had really helped me with like pretty much all of my anger issues and things like that. I wanted to teach that. But I thought that I could just do that for free, and I tried to give it away for free. And I thought that, all these, and because like I didn't agree with like marketing, I didn't agree with like any of the way that business is right now. So when I came to that point, I remember saying to my friend, I want to be able to learn everything I can and give it all away for free. And I don't want to charge people a single penny. Selling meditation is stupid. It's like selling someone oxygen, right? So I didn't agree with it. Like, I didn't agree with making money through spirituality, and I thought it was bad. I thought it was wrong. Or if I did, I was like, I want to give it away for like the lowest possible value. And I still think that, doing donation-based stuff, but when you've already got an income, is legit. But that's not the way it works, right? You're not going to make a living off doing something like this just off donation based, right? It's not going to work. Maybe there is ways to do it, but there's better ways of doing it if you really want to make an impact. And this was the biggest block I had to have, was this money mindset, was this belief that spirituality and money could not collaborate. And it was this belief that ultimately I was separate from money, that I was separate from the world, and that the world was separate from money, and that spirituality had division, and that there was not all inclusive. So spiritual people will have a harder time making money at first if you've gone through these Eastern traditions like I did. And it is extremely important that we learn how to move on from that, because it's absolute baloney. It's baloney colony, and it is just absolutely useless. Like, it has got nothing to do with whether it's right or wrong. If you want to create an amazing life, right, which includes happiness, and it includes having cool and fun experiences. Like, yeah, you might have the guru in the freaking Himalayas sitting there meditating all day. He might have a fantastic life, but I don't care for that. That's not really what I want. I have different desires. I have different moods. I have different feelings, and they take me to different places. So for him, that is the most fantastic life he could have imagined. Otherwise, he probably would have been doing something else. For me, its ultimate happiness, but also to be doing things in the world, to be navigating the terrain that we've been gifted, and to have that garden where basically we're able to thrive in it, like master the environment, like I like to think of myself as like a monkey, and I want to, or like some type of like, animal, and I just want to like master the trees, you know what I mean? Like I just want to master the environment. That for me is the goal. Now, to get on that goal, we have to let go, if we're on a spiritual path, of this idea that making money is somehow not spiritual, or making money is somehow bad or wrong, right? And this is kind of like the first fundamental thing, and this is specifically targeting spiritual people who do want to make money, because you will not make money otherwise. And guess what? If you have something of value to share, then you want to share it, you're going to have to learn to make money. It's the only way, right? Unless you're going to, like, I don't know, live on the street. I mean, you can do that if you want, but it's not really viable, right? We don't need to. So in order to do that, the one fundamental thing that we need to see is that every single desire that we have comes from the same place. And if it is coming from the desire to find happiness, then we will always be taking a convoluted path, and that will put us on the path of force. If our desire is coming from happiness, like we found happiness, now we want to share it with the world, whether that's through knitting, whether that's through painting, whether that's through sharing meditations, whatever that might be, that is where we know that we have the freedom and the range to be able to express and act on those desires without it kind of coming full circle, right? Like the prodigal son, we get out there and we realize, oh my God, I was meant to just do this all along. And you come back home and you realize, and then you start again. That's kind of what happens when you're doing stuff that isn't from a place of fulfillment. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you can't make money while not from a place of fulfillment. Most of the world makes money that way. But the only problem is that they always end up in suffering. They end up suffering, and it's a painful, long process along the way. So the only thing we really have to do is really check in, is where is my desire coming from? On whose behalf? Is it coming from power, or is it coming from force? Is it coming from fear, lack, and limitation, and trying to find happiness through the thing that I'm doing? Or is it coming from genuine peace of mind and clarity, and wanting to share that peace of mind and clarity with others? If it's that would be the power. That would be coming from power. If it's coming from power, you're not only going to get to that way a lot easier with less obstacles and more support and everything like that, but you're going to be completely fulfilled while doing it. So it's going to be actually really fun and enjoyable, and you're not going to be suffering through. If you listen to most of the gurus nowadays, they talk about like how much you have to suffer and how much pain you have to go through. Yeah, you do have to go through that pain if you do it through force, because you have to force yourself to do things that feel painful to you, that feel like discipline, that feel hard, that feel grindy, that feel like rise and grind, like you're like David Goggins, like I mentioned in one of the last video, or whatever his name is, who's like breaking his limbs just to run far. Like, yeah, that would be through force, and that will take a long time. That will bring a lot more suffering. So the bonus of spiritual people is usually they've done most of the work first, and it really just is taking a time of tweaking and making sure they're aligned with power, so that they can get to a place where they can both have complete ease of being on the way and have an enjoyable time while they get there. And that, when I say get there, obviously, I mean get to a place where they have financial freedom in this realm, in this Garden of Eden that we're experiencing. So, I think that's the end of the video. Thank you, and goodbye.